it's going to be, what can they do today? How can they represent what one of their boat names is AFK Strong, and it's about how strong Amy is and how strong that program is, and they're so the start of a race. This is a 5-boat race. It's a six lane race course. Usually we have 6 boats out here. 5 boats though, you can see kind of what that sound is like, what that chaos almost is like off the start. Oarlocks are clanging, the wash of the water pushing away from the boat each stroke, but good power put out. And when you get that many crews going off the line all together, it's just pretty awesome to see how much they're putting into it.
We should mention as well, the captain for Oregon State, right? Emily Bartles, the former walk-on.
Yeah. Former walk-on, came onto the team right at the beginning of that 2019 fall. Made it to the time when things got shut down last year. Finally getting to race, finally after like 19 months of good hard work of training on the Willamette and getting out and racing finally here at the Pac12 championships. But it looks like a minute in, Washington taking that nice strong lead early on. Stanford running with them. California just slightly back of Stanford. OSU and UCLA locked in pretty well in those outer lanes. But Washington in the yellow boat here in the Unpocker, right alongside in lane 1. Good push, good swing by the Huskies.
Right to left, the Huskies, and then Stanford in lane 2, Cal in the middle in lane 3, Oregon State in lane 4, and to the left of your screen, UCLA in lane 5.
Yeah, so as we come up to that 500 meter mark, you can see Washington just, as this drone shot really shows you, they've jumped out on that lead. So great push in the first 500 meters by Washington. Doing a nice job through the little bit of chop. It doesn't look like absolutely perfect conditions, but it looks like a pretty good solid start for the Huskies here.
1:38 at 500 meters for Washington, about 2.5 seconds ahead of second place Stanford.
And as you can see, so Washington's coxswain just a little check quickly over her shoulder. She can look at that Stanford crew and urge her crew on now to, can you get a little bit more? Can we open up that water between us and Stanford? Stanford keeping an eye on the California crew right behind them. So we want to see these 3 crews are in those 3 medal positions for this event right now. And the Washington boat's just doing a very great job of pushing out. You can see when you watch from above here, when you watch from the drone, you can see the puddles that come off of each blade. And what the coxswain is looking for, besides looking at their speed coach and the electronics in the boat that can tell you exactly how fast you're going, how much spacing are you getting? Does that stroke seat's blade, when it enters the water, is it all the way clear of the blade of the 2-seat, the puddle that gets pushed off by that 2-seat? But right now, it looks like Stanford's doing a pretty good job. They're not really letting Washington off the hook right now. They've kind of just maintained that little bit of open water. We'll see what Washington does in the second half of the race. Can they push out more? Oregon State with a good open water lead over the 5th place crew from UCLA, and Stanford and Cal still overlapping there in the middle lanes. So on this side view, when we got Washington, we're running right along the side of the Washington crew. You can see what we're looking for good rowing is catches all going in together. That means all 4 blades on each side disappearing into the water with good quickness, really setting in and locking in together. You can just watch the leg drive. Are they unified in their push? Are they getting all 8 of those sets of legs driving together? And then on top of that, does the back swing, the swing into the bow, does that match as well? Rowing is all about matching. It's about efficiency. It's about how much you can all put in together. That's why it's such a common phrase, are you rowing together? Are you, when a team is doing well in any environment, are you matching up? Are you rowing well together? Are you all pulling in the same direction with that same intensity?
3:21 at 1,000 meters for Washington, which was 5 seconds ahead of Stanford, and Stanford 3 seconds ahead of 3rd place Cal. Looking right to left, Washington, Stanford, and Cal, Oregon State, and UCLA.
So a pretty good job, Washington, with that nice dominant first half of the race. Stanford staying right there, just off their stern. It's going to be a little bit challenging for Stanford to mount much of a challenge with their running out of room here with about 750 meters to go or so. But Stanford doing a nice job over their Bay Area rivals from California. So Washington just clicking along, nice and strong, just smooth, powerful strokes. Seeing what they can do here as they press through these final, reaching just now to the 500-meter mark. There's that white buoy marking 500. The red buoy is going across the race course. As we said before, Sacramento State Aquatic Center, this is one of the premier venues in the United States. It's hosted many national championships for the NCAAs for women, as well as the IRA championships for the men, the Intercollegiate Rowing Association championships, and then it's also hosted a number of U.S. rowing youth championships have happened here at the Sac State Aquatic Center as well. Just a fantastic venue that they do such a great job at.
This year, for the men are headed to Mercer, New Jersey for the IRA championships this year.
Yeah, Mercer Lake is just outside of Princeton, New Jersey. It's just a few miles from the campus of Princeton. It's a great race course as well. And then the women making a long journey from here on the West Coast all the way down to Sarasota. It's a newer race course, developed from a former quarry, but it's a great race course, and they've done a nice job investing in rowing down in the Sarasota area.
Left to right, now you see Washington, Stanford, and Cal up ahead. Oregon State and UCLA in 4th and 5th.
Yeah, so as the first race to earn points today, Yas Group, the Washington coaches, they've got to be pretty happy with how this 3v8 has been doing. It's just stretching out their lead, keeping that smooth, powerful stroke, not really having to sprint too high. They've jacked up the rate a bit. They're moving to the line. They're sprinting, but they have such a great base of the piece that they can keep an eye on Stanford, respond to anything Stanford does. And I think that there's such a sense of relief, just getting to host championship, getting to race in a championship race after such a long layoff. Everybody, win or lose, you're feeling good about that you got to get out here and race at a Pac-12 championship today.
6:47.